What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the episode, Why Do You Work Out? Welcome to episode 2, and I am here with Zach Partida. Zach, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with James. Just to explain my story of how I started working out, why I work out, and the journey of it all. So currently I am in the middle of nursing school and I coach volleyball. So that's kind of just like a little snippet of who I am and what I do.
All right, Zach, why don't you tell the people where you're from? Did you play sports growing up? Did you play at the college level, or do you still play sports?
So growing up, I'm from Southern California, born and raised, grew up 30 minutes from the beach for my whole life. It's amazing. I grew up playing volleyball, and I started when I was like 13, 14, started to love the sport, got super invested, ended up pursuing volleyball full time, like club in high school. Throughout my high school career, kind of ended during like my end of the middle of my club season, just because I was like, I'm over it, don't want to do this anymore. Went to college, thought I was going to walk on somewhere, and just didn't happen. So yeah, that's the gist of who I am as an athlete. Currently, I don't play any sports, but I just like play recreationally or like play in leagues. So I call myself like an ex-athlete, as you will.
Always.
Yeah.
Once an athlete, always an athlete.
Yeah.
But one of our big mottos is you can't let athletics define who you are. That's a huge thing that I'm pushing nowadays, because a lot of times athletes that's their identity, but they also need to realize that they're a lot more than just an athlete. And you know what? Before you were an athlete, you were a baby that didn't do sports, and you were a human being. So who you are as a human is kind of who defines you, not your athletics.
No, I have no shame in that story at all, because I have met so many good. Not at all.
Yeah, that's awesome. So where did you go to college?
I started at Cal Baptist University, and then now I'm currently just taking classes at the local community college just to finish up nursing school.
That's awesome. All right, let's just get to the base of why we started this podcast. So why do you work out?
Why do I work out now, or why did I work out?
Well, why do you work out? Why did you start working out? Let's go with why did you start working out?
Initially I started working out just kind of initially I started working out to lose weight, because I thought I was big, I thought I was large. I thought at 5'10", 5'11", 170 was too big. So then I started doing a lot of cardio and kind of like mixing in free weights and just kind of doing the basic gym stuff, so that's how I kind of started. I also was like in the middle of like thinking like I was going to walk on a college team. So that's kind of the gist of my career as like a gym person. But yeah.
When did you start your working out phase, or why you started the gym and all this stuff?
Like around 18. I think I don't consider running working out. I like always ran, but like I just did that just for fun, like to get out of the house and like do things. But like gym, like going to the gym and like actually making time for it, probably when I was 18. It's when I had the most time.
That's awesome. So was that going into your freshman year of college, or was that your senior year of high school?
Going into.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So why do you work out now, and what along that journey may or may have not changed the reason of you working out?
So why I work out now is like purely just function. I think as like someone who's 24, I feel like I'm older now. So like I feel in the morning like, wow, like my body really hurts today. So like I have to move and get the blood flowing, and just for that, like endorphins. Like when I work out or the days that I don't work out, I'm like, wow, I'm really tired. And then I notice I'm like, oh, I didn't do anything today. Whether that's like, just stretching or even just like getting a good lift in. So
Yeah. That's awesome. So what has working out taught
Wow.
you? Yeah.
Working out.
I thought I'd hit you with at least one deep question, because everything that we do in life, every experience we go through, obviously we learn something from it. So what has working out taught you about yourself? What has working out taught you about life? What has working out helped you out with, or whatever it is?
To be the most concise to answer this question, I think in terms of teaching me something, I think it taught me that your life is so short and the days are so short, so that you have to like, I'm a planner, so like when I plan, I like fit every single minute of the day in. So like it's hard to time manage. Like time management isn't about planning your day. Time management is about managing yourself. So like that is the biggest thing the gym or like working out has taught me, is like to be able to manage like my own schedule and myself, because there's time for those things that you want to prioritize, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of people neglect. And I think that's that's a huge thing that people shouldn't neglect, is like getting up, starting your day, whether you work out in the morning or you work out at night. Those are the pieces of the puzzle that a lot of people are missing in their life. And I think that's what it's taught me, is kind of like just to manage yourself, because like even during those busy days where I have like to coach, or like I have class, or I have things to do, like I have errands to run, I have to meal prep, or all these things, you're like, you want to fit everything in, but it's not about fitting it in, it's about managing yourself and being the person that you want to be every single day.
I
So
like that a
I think
lot.
that's kind of what it's taught me. It's kind of like a deep answer and general answer, but I think it kind of answers that question fully.
Hey, you really did. And I like that answer a lot, and I couldn't agree more. For a lot of people who don't go through athletics in their life, but they do go through working out, time management is something huge that we all learn through those, because
Hmm.
working out, people think that working out is just that 1 hour, 1.5 hours where you're in the gym. Or whether you're going to practice, they think it's that 1.5 hours where you're going to practice. But there's so much more time that goes into getting there, getting ready to
Hmm.
go there, coming home from there, eating, relaxing,
Hmm.
showering, all this kind of stuff, and de-stressing. That 1.5 hour gym session actually turns into about 2 to 3 hour like time
Hmm.
frame. That's a lot of time when you're going to school, working on yourself,
Hmm.
maybe starting your own business, whatever
You're
it
so
is.
right.
It really does teach you a lot about time management. And one
It's
thing
like,
that
am I
I,
gonna shower or am I not gonna shower?
yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
The
just like
the very
those
the
little
very
things.
bad debatable one. Sometimes we're like, I didn't sweat enough to shower and I gotta run, so we just gotta go.
Yeah.
I feel you with that. Um, I want to know your thoughts on this one topic. I kind of talked about in my first episode, is how do you feel about working out and it actually being one of the only things that we do nowadays that truly works on ourselves? You know, we live in such a fast-paced society where we're constantly doing things, and a lot of things we do aren't always for ourselves, it's for other people. Has working out taught you that sometimes you need to take a step back and, you know, take care of yourself even outside of the gym?
I think the part that I kind of left out of what it's taught me is like I mean, me, you and I have grown up in the Instagram days, and we've seen the massive people or the aesthetic people, and you're like, I want to be like them. So
Yeah.
like initially you're like, I want to work out so that I look good. Whereas the looking good part is not just working out. It's also eating a variety of diets. It's also, drinking enough water and making sure that your blood work is correct, and like all those vitals are good, and like your heart is good. All those things just contribute to the overall being of who that person is behind the lens of the camera on Instagram. So uh, I definitely have had weeks or like days where I'm like, wow, like my body is really sore, or like my body is really tired and I don't know why. And I think the answer is more workouts. Whereas like it's just relaxing, or,
Yep.
meditating or reading a book or laying down. So I think yes, the answer is within, but also the answer is, lay off for a few days, or, take a break, because like our bodies do need breaks. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it kind of
It
just
did.
it it
I think it
it
did.
it's just that self-care is way more than just, getting 60 minutes of like heart pounding exercise in, you know.
I couldn't agree
It's
more.
hard to tell someone who loves working out, because I do enjoy it every single day. Like I like yearn for that part, but there's some weeks where I'm just like, maybe I can take 7 days off, or maybe I can take 5 days off,
Exactly.
and those resets are so good for your body. Those
I couldn't
those
agree
resets are
more.
almost better than getting a massage.
I could not agree more. And I think it's one of those really hard things, especially when people do in the beginning, early stages. I feel like this is where we all hit this dilemma where we start to see a lot of good progress. We start to change our physique. We start to change all this kind of stuff. And we fall into this pit of kind of like gym addiction. And we think that, oh, if I stop, I'm going to lose everything that I worked for. And we think that the only way to get to that point, because it's what we changed and what worked, was working out. And we just constantly do it and do it and do it and do it. And we just don't realize how much we're actually breaking down our bodies, and our bodies do need to
Yeah.
recover a lot. So I'm glad that you brought that up. That's super awesome. All right, I'm gonna my next question for you is, where do you get your information from? Because like you said, we grew up in an Instagram era, and I feel like that's where a lot of people get their information. So I kind of want to figure out, hey, where's most people getting their information from?
I think in the early days of like working out, I kind of didn't get any information from anywhere. I kind of just was like on the fly, just like thinking I knew, what I knew to work out. And then I worked for, when I turned 19 or 18, I worked for this huge athletic corporation. Um, and I started getting into like boutique fitness and like gyms and like cryo and all these different like parts of like the athletic world, that I was just exposed to like so many different professionals, that I started like following people, and then the algorithms took me in different places of Instagram, and like I kind of just was like gathering information, like sums of information that like I kind of just processed, and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna be a healthy person if I eat a well-balanced diet and like all these things. So I kind of was immersed at a young age into a world of information, from being like the best CrossFit trainers, or really good chiropractors, or just naturally. So I think I was emerged, and I got my information from those people. And then obviously Instagram sometimes, not gonna lie, and nowadays just like scrolling through like TikTok and seeing what everybody's up to. But generally I think I got it from the people I was surrounded to, like at work, and like I just grasp onto every information I could in terms of fitness. But in terms of like health and wellness, I think I just like was reading books at the time, and
That's awesome.
kind of dabbled in like eating certain kinds of diets, and diet culture, and wanting to be super thin, and then not wanting to be thin. So like it was just like
Yeah.
this back and forth. So I think now, since the internet is so widely available, it's just a lot of the information you just get from there.
Do you think
So
that a lot of the
I think that's
information we get, so obviously when I started working out for the third time in my life, because I kind of went through phases. I started working out as an athlete, kept working out as an athlete, worked out at school with the team. Then I kind of went on my fitness journey that you know of. Do you think that a lot of the information could be misleading? Mostly the information that pops up when you first look something up.
duh. I
Okay.
mean, I think that's a no. I think I think that's a no-brainer. I think when you think of like Google it, or like when people say like, oh, just Google it. I'm a Googler. Like I feel like everybody's a Google. Like you're just gonna like Google like conversions, or like how many calories are in this. Like that's a lot of my Google calculations. Like, hey, how many calories are in 6 ounces of like raw
Yeah.
sashimi sushi, just little things that you're like thinking about throughout the day. So I think we generally trust, but in terms of more research, like more detailed research, I'm a little bit more hesitant to like believe everything. And obviously, like there's going to be true and incorrect information at the same time. Whereas like it can be misleading, or they're trying to sell something, or like a certain trainer is trying to sell programs, or like they're like lose, gain muscle or lose weight in 60 days, or just things like this, So there is distrust with the internet because we've debunked a lot of, diet cultures and how they work, and calorie deficits. All those things are just all incorporated in the world of athletics and fitness.
I couldn't agree more. My next question for you is, what is your favorite exercise? If you had a go-to, because I have to say, I feel like we all have that one exercise where if we're not feeling the gym that day, we're at least going to do that one exercise.
Well, if I'm not feeling the gym and like I'm going to the gym and I have no plan, I'll probably do legs, and it'll be some sort of deadlift.
I appreciate you. I'm not a huge fan of deadlifts just because personally I've hurt my back too many times doing it. But mine is definitely hang cleans. I love hang cleans. I just think it's such a powerful movement. It's an explosive movement. It's a strength movement.
I used to do that when I did CrossFit. I never do any CrossFit moves.
What's your thought on CrossFit? Because me personally, I'm a huge fan. I think CrossFit, when done right, is awesome. Do I believe that after a full-on workout, you should give someone 6 minutes to try and max out on deadlifts and hang? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of injury behind that. But the concept of CrossFit, the high interval training, the fact that you get so much variety, the fact that, some workouts are pushing weight, a lot of workouts you're also doing resistant cardio. I love CrossFit. I'm a huge fan of CrossFit. That's kind of what I incorporate nowadays in a lot of my workouts. I
think the CrossFit community in general is amazing. I think it's what they have created is so incredible. And I think a lot of CrossFit companies and brands are kind of what you said, high intensity interval training. That is what their brand is.
It's just they call it CrossFit.
Way away from that CrossFit because of who owns CrossFit now. I think there's been a lot of heat under whoever owns it, and I don't really get into it because I've never like competed or I've never like done that. So like I can't speak. Like I've gone to a CrossFit gym and I've been a part of CrossFit for a long time, so I can speak on like my experience, and those experiences and those workouts that I've done have been incredible, and they are such a testament to what they do as athletes. Because I think those people, they consider themselves athletes because of how hard their workouts are, and they're just in there for so long, and they're stretching and preparing and eating a certain way, and that's their lifestyle. I mean at least one of us, at least every person at least follows one person who's gone through the CrossFit journey that's been successful. So like it's cool because like it's a sport now, and they have cultivated that for themselves. So like hats off to them, and I've done it, and I just think it's just a lot of wear and tear, and it's not for everyone.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. I am a huge fan of Who's your favorite CrossFitter?
Who's my favorite CrossFitter? I mean, I have to say Alex Smith because he's just amazing.
I hate to be the stereotypical. Mine has to be Matt Fraser. That dude is just an animal, and he seems like such a nice, genuine guy. Like I don't know,
I just feel like all of them are like there's just like a humbling part to CrossFit, whereas like where you see like other just sports in general are just so, they get so much clout, whether it's like NBA players or just things like that, and there's just like this humbleness to who they are as people. So yeah, it's a good community. I really like it.
That's awesome. Sweet. All right. My next question for you, and we're kind of leading towards the end, is Why did you choose to be on this podcast?
Why did I choose to be on this podcast? Well, duh, you.
I appreciate it. Mad love for that. There had to be
Well,
something
I
else.
kind of said it. I've kind of set it off like off off the script part about you is just like I'm excited for your growth. I'm excited for who you are as a person. I'm excited for the community that you're bringing together because I think you're right. I think the fitness community is just like everyone thinks they're right, and I think everyone is right. I think everyone's niche, everyone's like passion, because I've been a part of so many different communities, whether it's like training facilities or Pilates studios or yoga studios, all those things in moderation and when you do them right are all so right. Like they
In
all are
moderation, I
so
like
good for
that.
they're all so good for everyone's body. So like the fact that you're incorporating like people of all fitness is important, because I think when you think of someone who has done CrossFit, but at the same time has done like a yoga class or two in that week, I think it's really good for that variety. Whereas like your food should also be variety. You shouldn't be eating the same thing every day. You should be having a variety of vegetables. You should be having a variety of like diet and the what you put in your body, because it's all of it is just it's just like a symmetry of like who you are as a person. And I think it just exudes um culture, and
Yeah.
like you should be able to want to know who people are as an individuals. And like when people are like, hey, like have you tried this, like would you try it, I'm always like the first person to be like absolutely. Like I know I've known
I'm a
people
huge
like
believer in that as
where
well. I'm a
I've
huge believer in that as well.
met and they're just like, hey, like come work out with me, and they're like, oh no, like I like to do my own thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, okay, I understand, but like there's this part of like you want to experience and you want to be able to like know what they do to like
Yeah.
stay active, and what they do to. So I think that's cool that you're doing this, and it's really going to bring that light to the diversity of the fitness world.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. And my last question to you is, what advice do you have for someone that wants to start working out?
Try everything. I'm someone who tried everything, and now it's so cool to be able to be like, I feel like doing X. I feel like going to a Pilates class. I feel like going to yoga class. I feel like getting on a bike and going for 20 miles. The diversity that window has led to me is now I can just like, hey, I can go to open gym and play volleyball and like get a good sweat, or I can go to a Pilates class at 7 a.m. and like get a good workout and like feel my muscles shaking, or I can go by myself and go to the gym and like work out and like train like a certain muscle group that I feel is neglected. So now like I feel optimal. I feel that part of my life in terms of fitness is just so open that I'm open to doing everything, and it's so freeing. Whereas like I feel like people sometimes always tell me is like, I'm tired of working out. And my answer is like, well, why are you tired of it? You know, it should be like that should be your part of your day is the most exciting, because like every time that I schedule a different class, or like I'm going to work out, or I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for that part of my day,
Yeah.
you know. So that's my advice, because I feel like there is something for everyone. There is, you know, whether it's going on a walk, because even sometimes I'm like, I'm not really feeling working out, but I'm down to go for a 4 mile walk, you know, and just like kind of listen
Walking
and
is
like,
very soothing. Walking is very, very soothing. It's very not appreciated enough. I agree with that. Totally.
mm-mm.
Awesome. Well, dude, I think that was awesome advice, and I couldn't agree more. Coming from someone that does love to try new things, and loves trying different types of workouts. I mean, I've done, like you said, I've done CrossFit. I've trained for performance. I've trained like a bodybuilder. I've done yoga. I've done Pilates.
Yoga.
I've done so, like, you name it, I've probably done it. And if I haven't done it and you have some crazy different workouts that you want me to try, please leave a comment below, because I'd love to go and try it. But I've done Squattober. Like, I've done so many different types of workouts, and I've benefited from all of them, you know, like not being scared to say, oh, this is considered more feminine. Oh, this is considered just stretching. Oh, this is considered just for these type of people. It's like, dude, you never know until you try something. You might enjoy it and you might learn something that you want to incorporate in your style of working out. So I couldn't agree more with that. Is just dive head into whatever it is. Just try a variety of things for a week and see kind of what your niche is. And after you do your niche, like you said, a lot of people kind of fall into that pit where it's like, oh, I'm bored of working out. Sometimes it's because you need something new. It's not that you're bored of physically working out. It's you're bored of doing the same thing for the past year. Hey, why not switch it up and let's try something different, you know? So I couldn't agree with that statement more. And that concludes our episode 2. Zach, thank you so much for coming on, dude. I think this was a great conversation and a lot of good knowledge that people need to hear. I love how genuine you are as a person, and just kind of, I can feel your energy is exhilarating across every room that you walk into. It's great. And thank you so much for just opening up and sharing, like, and being real on this podcast. That's what I want from this podcast. That's what I want this podcast to be, is stop putting a face mask on. I mean, put your face mask if you're out in public, but stop putting a complete face mask on and trying to act all tough, because that's what the fitness industry needs to be. It's like, no, there's so much more to the fitness industry. And at the end of the day, why I started this, we all work out and we're all correct in what we do, but it doesn't mean that one is better than the other. And we're trying to bring a community together. Thank you so much for being on the podcast again. I hope all you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and follow with all your friends. And we'll see you guys next time on episode 3. Thank you.